Sir?
Who's Dallas?
Because they don't look at that.
Well, Dallas.
There's Saints fans around here.
They're from a state when Texas played Arkansas, they wouldn't give me gasoline. I went home and told Granny that. Now, they did that sometimes. No, you got a Texas plate on it. Don't be moving on. Now, I went home and told my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. And they said, they wouldn't give you gas. I said, no, we're just teasing you. They would. Well, everyone's excited. Why are they praising? Why are they singing? Why are they so happy? Because of what they're experiencing in heaven. It's kind of a figure of speech to show us what it's like in heaven. All God said is that it's going to happen, and it will. And we'll be there. My mother-in-law was really good for me as a young preacher. I was talking to her about you ought not go to home and watch the game on TV. You ought to go to church and then go home and finish it up. Now we have a lot of recording instruments, you know. My mother-in-law says, you know where I was Super Bowl night? And I said, no, I don't. She said, I was home sitting in front of the TV and watching the game. I said, now, Granny, was that a good example for your little grandchildren? You've done worse. I always love that about her. You've done worse. She was good for me. Most mother-in-laws are. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. My mother-in-law, y'all have humor. My mother-in-law in Desert Storm, my boy was over there. And I went to see him. Might be the last time I'd ever see him, I thought. And he went on over. She flew by herself all the way to California just to teach the Marines how to fight dirty. No, I'm teasing. But she was really a good mother-in-law. Well, another thing I might say, think today. Not only everything you've ever read in the Bible is prophesied going to happen, it's going to happen to you. And next, it seems like God likes to make a challenge out of things. We shy away from it. No. Suppose I told you God's going to make here, have a 500-member church, and create a preaching school and send young preachers all over the world. Now go do it. Sounds a little bit like I would feel like. God loves a good challenge. He makes things that way. He loves to test faith. Now, testing faith, I mean like a little bird tests its wings, and they get stronger. So he tests us to see if we'll get stronger. And so we take it and we get stronger. We started that preaching school at Southwest. I went to Southwest as a boy and as a young preacher when there were just a few people there, 30, 40 people. And I watched it change into about 500 one Sunday when I was preaching. And then we built a preacher school. And I taught young preachers for a while. And I often said, Lord, he'll never make a preacher. Look at him. They're just wild. They're half kid, half human, but a little religious. There's something in them that wants to do good. So God sometimes makes the best things you'll do in life a little challenging to you. I think it's always been that way to me. I always looked at some of my works and thought, I just can't see what I can do here. You know, at the Bible chair, St. Marcus. He wanted me to, the director wanted me as a kind of assistant director to put on a evangelism program. And I didn't know how to do that. How do we make an evangelism program out of college students? So there was a workshop. I thought I'd go there. I got nothing. And I went the next day and I got nothing. And somewhere along that time period, a thought came to me. I know, we'll make little teams, groups, and we'll have a group leader. The girls will have a team and they'll have group leaders. We made 5 or 6 teams. And then all of a sudden we got to thinking, you know, let's start now, sending out, go out there and set up Bible studies. They didn't know how to do it, but they just went and did it. And I noticed they had about 40 people, college students, interested in the Bible, and they came. Now what we wanted to do is teach until we could see the ones that really wanted it. And some would be weeded out, and then we'd try to make separate groups out of them and teach them more one-on-one. There was this one guy I saw on campus, and this was when we had a problem with long hair. And he had blonde hair, and it was down to the shoulders. And I was thinking, I said, good night, how does he wear such a thing like that and look in public? I went to my college students wanted me to go to a Baptist thing and talk to the Baptist preacher, have a little debate, there. We did. But I noticed someone at that gathering. He had long blonde hair. And I thought, no, he's not really that interested in religion. I found out in our Bible studies, one of the groups had a guy in there had white, almost white blonde hair down to his shoulders. Well, we kept on studying with him, and I'll be honest, the good thing is he's probably still preaching today. He went to preacher school. And he was a good preacher. And he rejoiced in things that showed him the truth. Now, I'm going to guess here, but first I better tell you, I don't lie. I'd hate for my daughter to ever catch me in a lie. My wife would sometimes, Jerry, that wasn't true. I said, why? She said, that happened in San Antonio, not in Austin. That's about as close I get missing that. I don't know how, but out of those groups, we are just baptizing people all the time. Greatest mission work in the world, I felt. And the preacher there said, are you sure you're teaching them? Yeah. And we had them help, watch, see what it was like. They were all away from home. They were new at everything, and they wanted something to hold on to. We gave them the gospel. And we had debates there, and we made a lot of conversions. And then some of these guys, like that guy with that, now it was short blonde hair, they were so interested. I said, I'm going to gather up a group of y'all and get y'all to hear the director of the school of preaching I went to. So I got Eldred Stevens, and he talked to him. I remember one question. There's an elder sitting there. They were close friends, Brother Bell. And he was known as an elder. He knew who called the shots. And Eldred Stevens was a preacher. And he did the work of a preacher, everyone knew. And you wonder what would ever happen if these two strong men ever had a conflict. What would go on, they wondered. And a student out there said, Brother Bell, which is better? If I wanted to be an elder or if I wanted to be a preacher? Put Eldred right on the spot, but he didn't hesitate. He said, if you had a choice, I'd be a preacher. And he gave a reason. He said, a preacher can work all day long at this. An elder gets to put part-time into it. And Brother Bell sat there nodding. He understood, that's right. Good answer. Nevertheless, that was a good night, and I don't know, but I'm going to guess over 10 of those young men we sent to Preston Road School of Preaching. They became preachers. It could have been 14, could have been 15, but I'm never reading it down to make sure I don't lie, but it's over 10. They're preaching, a lot of them today. I get calls and letters from some of them, and they're on their own, and we just hope they do a good job. Well, that was a challenge for me, and I'll be honest with you. I'd go around and I'd say, Richard, I just don't feel I'm doing right, my best. And then I'd tell Jimmy Parker, I don't think I'm doing my best. And they said, why do you say that? This is the best we've ever had. And then they used to say, we want the Bible chair like when old Moffitt was there. You know, because it was okay. You know, you're never satisfied, but we were converting students. We were, not only that, sending them to preacher school. And we were doing a whole lot of good. And I thought, that's the best mission work in the world. I'd almost thought about going back someday to that. No one would probably want me now, though.